Welcome back to Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. We are Philip,
Abby,
Blake, Ethan,
also known as Dungeon Master,
Avis Merlot,
Devon Merlot,
Neil.
On the last episode, the old-timers took out the Lord Admin, apparently a version of the kid in this strange, far future. After a long fight with him and his right hand, a super advanced robot, Neil took out some of the smaller versions of the right hands. Devon helped the kid stun and take out the Lord Admin himself. Avis turned into a ghost and possessed a robot. Guards made their way into the room as the transformation that revealed the Lord Admin to be something strange and different. A gray-skinned humanoid with inhuman features and sunken-in pinpoint white eyes. Everybody stares on in silence. They were raising their weapons. Now some of them hang halfway in the air. Some people have dropped their arms. Their mouths are open. You see one of the other doors opens. More guards walk in, hesitantly ready for a fight until they see the scene before them. Devon, you're standing with the kid over the body. Kid looks very distraught. Neil, you're standing in the middle of the room, around the piles of the former right hands, having removed one of their heads and holding it under your arm like a crazy person. Avis, you're possessing a robot. You can feel that this is a limited effect, and you might need to get out of this robot within the next couple minutes. That's where we are now. Nobody is saying anything for the moment.
Okay, guys, what do we do?
Avis should speak up and sit on the throne and announce that she's the new Lord Admin.
I am Papa.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Also, at some point, you gotta dump the robot.
Or do the jump out of the window, fly back thing.
I like that one.
Avis, you take metal marching steps over to the window. People watch you silently, almost like a spell cast over people. They are just trying to gather what's happened here. You see the third door opens after a little more pounding. More guards enter. One of them has the scientist with her arms held behind her back. You can't tell if she's restrained, but they're pushing her forward like they were expecting a judgment from the Lord Admin once they made it into the room. You go to the shattered window. The dark night, a little lighter than the past few months. It's getting closer and closer to first sunrise. You hop out the window and you unpossess the robot. Avis, ghost version, floats back in and rejoins her companions as the final right hand falls over 100 feet to the ground below. You hear a crash of crumpling metal.
What now?
Now that Devon is like up close with the true form of the Lord Admin or the kid or whatever this is, can he make some sort of like check or like connection to the stranger that showed up and transported us here? Do they look similar in any way?
They don't look related.
Okay.
You don't think? I wouldn't want you to fail an investigation check and then be confused about that.
Okay.
They're almost opposites, actually. Not quite, but the stranger had large eyes with large pupils, so big that their eyes almost looked black with only rings of color and white on the outside. This creature has sunken in eye sockets, not like a skull like they're hollow, but just like the skin goes in until deep in there recessed are two little points of white that don't even look like eyeballs. They just look like points. This thing is lanky, gray-skinned, bulbous in the wrong places. The stranger was light blue, soft glow emanating from their skin, and angular features. So they don't look similar.
Actually, they couldn't be more dissimilar.
The final guards that came in here are also dazed and confused now. You see the one that was kind of holding onto the scientist drops her arms. She also looks a little bit shocked about what's gone down, even though she knew you'd be fighting the Lord Admin. And she steps forward to look at the body next to you, Devon. You see the kid has kind of like backed up to the wall a little bit to stand on the side. Still looks like a guard. As you're looking around, you see out the window, down by the gate, the guards that were there seem like they've been messaged or radioed because they are rushing towards the town. And you see with a crash, crash, crash.
He's getting in.
Jonathan breaks open the gate.
Yes!
And starts wandering into Queen Maud, very determined. The scientist looks at the three of you as Avis, you turn from a ghost back into Avis, regular person, with a pop. Everybody takes a step back at that. And the scientist says, "What happened?" Softly.
I guess we got him.
One of the guards across the room steps forward and says, They changed the Lord Admin into that thing. And there's a murmuring.
Neil points at that guy. You idiot. The Lord Admin was that thing.
Bullshit.
He's lived for like 200 years, so clearly he's not human.
Another guard calls out, That's because he was divine.
Does that look divine to you?
You hear a murmuring, like people doubting. He was a good leader, another person calls out.
How many people has the Lord Admin held here against their will? I don't mean like a show of hands necessarily.
A different guard still says, He protected us here, and he raised the most of us.
He protected his interests.
His interests was us.
And yet he lied to you about what he was. And for dramatic effect, I shoved the gray body towards all of them.
Most people take a step back, and there's larger murmuring amongst themselves as they're whispering to each other.
I think moving forward, you all should consider a different line of work, as you leave the gates open, letting people come and go as they choose.
You guys can make a perception check and an insight check.
12 perception, 13 insight.
19 perception and 8 insight.
19 for both.
We needed that.
Devon, while people are whispering to each other, in that far door, for a few seconds, there was somebody poking a head around, trying to remain hidden and watch this, and they hurriedly turn and rush off the hallway. You see the back of their head, and you hear footsteps rushing.
The engineer is getting away, I assume.
Avis, you can sense that playing to the fear of the Lord Admin hiding what he was is working to undermine people's faith despite all he's done here, and that most of these people aren't outright evil but should not ever be put in a position of power or control. But you do see some headway here. What you notice on your perception check, Kid is no longer standing where he was. You hear some footsteps from the opposite door going down the hallway, a little bit rushed.
I think the scientist would make a great stopgap while we figure things out.
I'll just nudge her in the arm a little bit. Hey, so it's bad to just leave all these people without direction, right?
She turns to you, away from the little under 24 guards, and in a low tone, she says, I think they're scared, and fear drove them to support all this. Misguided fear can be dangerous. People want to feel safe. That is why he built the wall, I think. But stopping people from leaving for fear of affecting the whole, that in itself bred more fear.
Then maybe this place could be repurposed as some sort of safe haven for those who need it, or those that want it.
Those that want it would be good. If I was allowed to give the information we've discovered here about the plants and how to fortify them to other people, there would be no need for people who did not want to be here. They would be able to live better lives out there.
Grow their own food. Live on their own. Not under some control.
Not under fear. Fear of starvation. Fear of being stuck here. This could no longer be a place where people felt stuck.
Since I think out of pretty much anybody in this place, you must know the most and have probably cared the most. How would you feel about taking up some sort of mantle and guiding them?
She looks taken aback and her eyes go a little bit wide, and she looks at Neil and she looks at Avis as you're all gathered around her having this conversation, looking between the two of you.
Do you think you could lead by example in the meantime before something more permanent is set up?
These people need someone, and we really think that you're the person for them right now.
And I know since you've been here, you might have regretted some of the things you've done under the control of the Lord Admin. This might be a good way to use your knowledge for good.
Everybody make a persuasion check. This is a group check.
Got a 13.
I got 19.
15?
You see she doesn't look enormously confident, but she nods in understanding, and she steps out from you guys towards the center of the room, and she says louder with a waver in her voice that she's trying to stifle. All of you, throw your weapons here at the ground. You've known me just as long as you've known him. I've been here longer than most of you. Do it now, and we move forward past this. And she points at the ground, at the body of the Lord Admin. Nobody moves forward at first. One person steps forward from the far end, and with an underhand toss, maybe even a little bit happy, they throw forward the timer from their hands as it clatters onto the ground. More people start walking up to do the same. More of the guards look a little confused. You see some people drop their weapons where they are and turn to walk out of the room away, deciding to leave in that moment. More still are waiting to see what the majority of guards in the room do. As they're gathering their weapons up, the scientist walks and leaves for a couple minutes, coming back with that medium drum barrel that was a part of her setup in the laboratory. You see where all the timers have been put onto the pile. She dumps this barrel over all of them, tipping it over. She takes out a piece of steel, lights some sparks, and the timers burn in the center of the room.
Dang, we drank that?
Avis, Devon, you were perhaps nervous about the concept of using one during the fight, but each of you have a timer on you.
I'll throw mine in.
Yeah, I'll throw mine in.
They add to the flames. The floor and walls and ceiling here are made of metal, as this fire is contained here in the center of the large circular room. You guys see some people are sitting down, their heads in their hands, unsure of what to do. The scientist looks nervous and her eyes are darting back and forth like she's trying to figure out the best thing to do next. And people are going to be in an in-between state for a while as this news and this attitude spreads out to the remaining guards. and people prepare for the caravan that is likely to be coming in a few days as the bulk of the guards return with other people. But they will be met with a town that is no longer under the thumb of the Lord Admin. While this is happening, you saw somebody rush off down the hallway, Devon, and Avis noticed the kid rushing off down a different hallway.
I don't think the engineer's like a threat.
Uh-huh.
Should go for the kid.
Can we just leave and go after him?
Okay.
All right, we'll get the kid first.
You guys walk out of this room down the hallway. Everybody give an investigation check.
I got 22.
I got 5.
13?
I got mother's intuition.
Avis, you get a sinking in your heart, remembering the streaks of tears on the kid's face at the end of the fight. And you are looking around, thinking about where Milo would go to hide, how he would act when he got upset as a younger kid. And eventually, you guys are searching around this floor until you come to an empty hallway where the light is dim, and you hear from behind a closed door a little bit of a sound of soft sobbing, stifled crying. As you reach out and try to open the door, the thing feels like it's stuck, like it's blocked by something from the inside, and you can't quite open it.
I think the kid's in here.
Well, open it and get him out.
It seems like the door is blocked.
Is he all right? And Neil bangs on the door.
Stop it, you're gonna scare him.
You hear from inside, in his old voice, a voice that you're not sure as you think about it, belonged to Oliver, because he just saw Oliver asleep in the building he appeared in when you guys moved through time. So he says in his voice, "Go away."
Could we at least talk?
You hear sniffling. He doesn't say no.
Can you remove whatever's blocking the door?
No.
Okay, that's okay. Can you tell me what's on your mind?
There's a long moment of sniffles. You guys saw that. I'm a monster.
Personally, I don't really know what defines a monster.
I would say that a monster is more defined by their actions. And I know that's not you, kid.
You've been with us all this time and we haven't had an issue, have we?
Neil, make an insight check.
7.
You feel a odd sensation off the top of your head. You might think maybe it was some sort of malfunction. You feel what can be described as like a twinge in your chest. And you're a person with emotional intelligence, though you're very logical. You're a person who's been alive for over 100 years and had more experience than anybody in this building. You feel yourself have some kind of emotional reaction, but you can't quite judge what it is. But perhaps Neil feels he's being a little too logical about it, as after you say that, from behind the door, you all hear, "Well, yeah, but you guys are like, aren't you scared? Did that not, like, freak you out?"
You could never scare me.
I wasn't scared of the Lord Admin, kid. I was angry at him because he locked up my friends and he tried to grab you. We're friends. Why would I be scared of you?
Yeah, kid, out of everything I've seen in the last couple of months, I think you scare me the least.
Can everybody please make a persuasion check again?
I got an 11.
9.
I got 20.
Avis with a 20. You guys hear ruffling or something from behind the door, something moving around. You hear the scrape of a chair being moved. And you guys all hear a click as the door handle turns. The door swings open. You see a dark custodial closet. And standing in the middle of it is the kid. Much taller. His skin is gray with splotches of discoloration in places. His fingers are long and sharp. Head is bulbous. Eyes are sunken in with the small white dots inset in the back of those cavities. And you see he's like crossing his arms uncomfortably, but also like challenging you guys to react.
I go hug him.
This is kind of what Devon was expecting to see.
Neil will kind of like passively join in the hug, like a little like hand on his arm.
Avis, he stands tall over you now. He's a little taller than Neil is in this form. But with his arms crossed, you wrap him in a hug so tight that he can't even undo his arms to hug you back. As Devon walks forward too and joins in, and Neil places a hand on his shoulder. And you guys spend a few moments standing there like that in the dark. We're going to do a little period of downtime. The first thing that happens, I'd assume, is you guys would like to go check out the engineer's room.
Yes.
Give a perception or an investigation group check. 2 people have to beat a 15. If you don't, that just means we might have to spend a little time looking in other places because not all the information is necessarily on display here.
It's a 6 perception.
22 perception.
22 perception.
You guys, always twinning. As you move about Queen Maud, the kid returns to the form of Ollie just to avoid fear or reaction from the people here. But he did that showing himself moment. So you don't think he has a lack of confidence in you. He seems happy and closer to you guys, and he wants to help and keep going. Throughout Queen Maud in this time, though, he looks like that Oliver kid. The engineer apparently ran off. More than a few guards left Queen Maud, or at least tried to disappear into anonymity. The engineer, as far as you can tell, left town somewhere. You don't know what his plan is. You don't know where he went. He didn't take much with him. Stuff is still here in the engineer's room. It's mainly stuff about this building and about the wall. You see they were drafting up plans for an expansion. You don't know what the fear was with putting so much behind a wall when the only threat on this continent were the corrupt, who were not even a threat if they were not bothered. It might have been some kind of paranoia about the threat of the outside world, but they were planning on a massive expansion, a secondary wall further out for more fields, more crops, more peoples to stay here, stuck behind a closed door. In the building, there is a ventilation system, and something that the engineer evidently identified was some kind of airflow access to some kind of chamber that is no longer visible from the outside. Many of these plans have been lost over time, many of the original drawings, original construction work, but it looks like there was some kind of access tunnel that was dug into the side of the mountain, some kind of shaft. From what you remember running through here from the outside originally, that was dirt and rock. It must have been covered up, buried at some point, but could still be accessed through the vents inside this building. You remember the scientist talking about their right hands being sent through the vents. You don't find a lot of information about what's down there through this access tunnel, but you think you know where it is. You could get there from the outside if you blew a hole in the side of the mountain face and the side of the hill, or you think you could take a tight squeeze and get there through the vents.
Good thing I can just use magic to mold the earth.
What about Jonathan?
Jonathan can ram into a mountain.
Speaking of Jonathan, later on, over the course of the next week or two, while you guys are working to help make sure people are in a good place here, help the scientist with inspiring confidence, with destroying any timers, as the bounty of guards return a few days in to the open gate, you see confusion and hostility at first, but there is simply no backup for them, and they are suddenly in a crowd of people that is far more confident because of your reinforcement. Jonathan is in the town. He went looking for Edna, found her, and they were waiting for you all that same day to come talk to them. Jonathan comes up to you, Neil, and says, with his eye patch and his drawn-on stubble, he looks gruff and tough, but you see he's in a soft state right now, and he looks a little sad and weepy, and he says, "Thank you, Neil."
Don't thank me, Jonathan. You took down the gate all on your own.
My head hurts.
Oh, I give him a pat on the head.
Ow.
I rub it gently.
Kiss it. Just kiss it.
Lay on
I can't-
hands.
I don't have lips.
Lay on hands.
Oh, I lay on hands.
You lay on hands and get him feeling a little bit better, and Edna says, "That was fucked up. I was stuck here for a month. I hadn't heard from you guys at all. You all doing okay?"
We are now. Avis and I were in prison for a month, but Neil and Jonathan and the kid helped break us out. Now you're free to come and go as you please. You and Jonathan can get back on the road if you'd like.
We are what? What happened?
We killed the Lord Admin.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah,
They
that
talked
guy's-
about that guy like he was a god.
Yeah, he's long gone.
Jonathan says, "What next?"
Well, in a storeroom in the back of the research station, I found an entire room full of jarred pickles. I assume most of that's yours.
We're rich. And he looks at the merchant. "I'm gonna go find my machete from that building. I thought we were going on a little adventure to come here, and I got trapped for a month."
Can we offer her like a nice shiny short sword as like an apology token?
She takes the short sword. "I guess this'll do if anybody tries to stop me from getting my machete. You said you're going back to your time traveling or something? That's what we talked about when we were coming here."
That's the plan, yeah.
"Well, don't know how that works." And she looks a little sad. "But it was good to know you all for at least a little while."
We could bring Edna back with us.
Oh my god, no.
We could bring Edna back and Edna can cause like a plague with her future germs.
With their future germs.
Goodbye, Edna.
I hope we were able to make your life better in some way, even if you did get trapped here for a month. Sorry, our bad.
Goodbye, Edna.
And then he walks over to Jonathan and pulls Jonathan in for like a long hug.
You just place your arms out so wide and are not even close to wrapping them all the way around Jonathan.
It's the
as
thought
he
that counts.
goes in for a hug.
And we
Devon's-
share a long, very quiet, unspoken moment. And then Neil stands back up.
After the unspoken moment, Jonathan says, "I will wear this eye patch for you."
Thank you, Jonathan. You were a good friend.
He puts his head against your head. Jonathan goes around and gives all of you guys one of those forehead touches. He goes to the kid first to say goodbye, and he goes up to you, Devon and Avis, and he says, "I appreciated the journey."
So sweet. It's good that you can get back to it now then.
But first, you deserve a really big mud bath.
He falls over where he's standing, right next to a field of crops, crushing a good deal of them. And
That's okay. They can grow more.
turning
Can I?
over on his back in the mud.
Devon's gonna cast Create Water to make it a lot muddier.
Edna says, and maybe we'll find a good task for that journey back and forth with the cart.
I got a 7.
You were at a 1 through 7, so for this little mud bath, go ahead and roll on the corruption surge table, I guess.
Please, here we go. Please.
That's a 99.
Oh. We should do more magic.
Yay!
You create this little mud bath, and Edna says that perhaps they'll find a good use for their journeying across this continent. And you all move away throughout the week as you continue to destroy the last remaining of the timers, filter out any guards who are too unreliable to allow it to be kept around here, any guards who are especially at fault for what happened. You talk to people about their lives, and you work with the scientist, and you guys decide that Edna and Jonathan will go to the remaining colonies and tell them that anybody who would like to come here could follow back to this place, and anybody who doesn't want to will be given the quote-unquote inert fungal enhanced crop seeds to grow food for themselves throughout the year, live independently if they'd like to. Jonathan and Edna will bring that to them on these journeys, and anybody who would like to live more central to Queen Maud is welcome to make the trek back with Edna and Jonathan as their guides. Devon, at some point in the week, perhaps one night when you're about to go to sleep with Avis beside you, in a room with Neil in low power mode, and the kid curled up in his true form, what he returns to when there are not other people around except for you three. And your mind is racing, and you are thinking back, just letting your brain replay memories. You're just remembering stuff, something that happens a lot before you go to bed. And you suddenly have a memory that is so clear and vivid. It's not your imagination. It's not a daydream. It's a memory, but it's one you've never seen before. It's one you don't remember. It's one that is new to you. You try to play it from the start, remembering exactly what happened. There's a dark tunnel with an elevator at the end as you're walking towards it. You remember glancing around at your friends getting into this elevator and pulling a lever as it descends into the deep. The journey takes minutes, and you remember hooking on to some kind of latch or something. There's a reel at the back of the elevator, something that like has a rope and hook that retracts in and out. You hook it to your belt. Before you get to the bottom, you hear a ding as the doors open to darkness. And that's what you remember. An explicit, clear memory of something that never happened to you.
I'm having future past memories.
Yes.
As these couple weeks come to a close, is there anything else that anybody wants to specifically do before you try to trek down into the earth? You know this time thing, as much information as you have from the scientist talking to her more over the couple weeks, is something that was discovered and researched underground. Some material, some energy signature. You know from the engineer's notes that an access tunnel, a shaft, was built there. You have this memory of an elevator going down deep underground. You're just not exactly sure what you'll find. All that information has been long destroyed. Is there anything anybody wants to do before the end of this downtime?
I think we're chilling.
We're all good.
Good job, team.
Going through the earth with mold earth, or going through the air vents?
I want to say mold earth.
Now
but
that you had the cool vision, I want to go mold earth, you know?
can do even more of those.
The kid is with you in his Oliver guise, He's holding onto your hand, Avis, tightly as you stand in front of the area, far off away from the central community, on the edge of a field of crops as they come right up to where the rocky terrain becomes too difficult to cultivate. You cast Mold Earth. You think you would only have to do it 2 or 3 times, depending on how far in the opening to this reinforced access tunnel should be.
Okay.
Do you want to cover it up behind you? Do you want to tell the scientist about this access tunnel? She seems to know theoretically of something like its existence. Do you want to leave this open for people, or do you want to try to make it like it was never there, like it looks like right now?
One argument would be to cover it up and then
when we go back, it like dies with us essentially.
yeah. But the risk of that is like maybe someone in the future of this future could like stumble upon it and then all of this happens again. Or they could be like the protectors of the knowledge.
I guess if we wait for all those, we already waited for all those other people who don't want to be here to leave. There's probably a lot less, smaller of a population now. Let's tell the scientist and let her handle it how she wants to.
That's good. Take it off
She
us.
can make the decision.
Yeah. We'll just tell her we're going to leave it closed. It is here if you want it.
Oh, okay.
We'll just tell her this is how you would get to it.
Yes.
If you want to recover it, it'll take a couple more uses of Mold Earth to do so.
That's okay.
Before your expedition, you inform the scientist. She gives you all a smile. I want to leave you with a warning. The timers somehow interacted with multiple timelines. They killed people, and the person wielding the weapon did not make the decision, as I said, about when it happened. Something else did. Be careful down there. You all inspire me. I will do my best, and I wish you the same. Goodbye, old-timers. Good luck on your journey back around the block.
We dramatically turn around in sync and start walking in slow motion towards the thing.
Around
the block.
Around a corner.
Around the corner.
You guys around a corner. You leave this place behind. Devon, you mold Earth, and you want to cover it up on your turn. So let's go in order. You are currently at a 1 since you just had a corruption surge. You need to roll 5 times, and we'll see how far you guys get into this.
It's 10,
You're at a 1 and 2.
12,
You're at a 1, 2, 3.
7, not a 1.
1 through 4.
13,
Last roll.
6.
You are now at a 1 through 6. You all leave this place behind. You get to the end of this crop field, and you feel like you've truly turned a corner around everybody here, away from them, as their lives will continue without you. It is a little bit late. You're feeling tired. You all think it might be a good idea to rest for one more night. Perhaps doing it under the stars feels a little bit nostalgic, like the start of your journey. Just the 3 of you and the kid, with your sleeping rolls and your supplies. You make a little fire, rest through the sleeping hours, and when you guys blink and open your eyes awake, you see orange light far on the horizon through the ever thinner fog. Rays of sunlight from the first sunrise of the year.
Dude, the eyes adjusting to that must go crazy.
As you shield your eyes at the end of the long night here, Devon reaches out with both hands, moving dirt aside in large chunks as you all see a tunnel. Darkness appears in front of you. As you all walk into it, he closes the exterior, and from the outside you can feel the molding try to replace what it just looked like. And you all stand in a tunnel now. You see at the end of it is an elevator. You see the walls are made of stone, roughly shapen, like this was excavated by explosion or by hand. There's not much here besides some whirring of fans in the ceiling. You see little metal tubes like ventilation shafts, and running along and into them are wires for a little bit of power that comes from the research base itself. Something you discovered is due to the geothermal nature of this spot, where this place gets its energy from.
I think I saw this elevator in a memory or something. I don't know. Something about the magic here gave me a new memory of this place. Let me see. There should be some sort of rope around here somewhere.
Neil looks to Avis.
Have you been experiencing the same thing?
No, not at all.
Oh. So Devon's lost it.
Yeah.
As I'm like walking forward, trying to look for this rope.
You guys all walk up to this service elevator with like an open cage, right? It's not like a fully enclosed, nice residential building elevator. It is made of metal and steel bars. It has little benches along the sides and a lever up on one of the corners to be pulled down. You see along the back, Devon, there is like broken metal. You don't see the kind of reel you described, the ropes and hooks. You don't see it at all. It looks like it's been torn away.
No, I swear, it looked just like this. It was right there.
Devon, we can see clearly there's not something there.
I don't know, maybe someone tore it off so it'd be more dangerous if anyone tried to go down there. Maybe we should be a little on guard.
Pull the lever, kid.
You all steel yourselves. Kid, with a stern look on his face, like he's trying to put on a brave one, reaches up high above his head and pulls the lever. The elevator shudders and starts to descend with a little jump down. The service light that was at the end of the hallway fades away from you guys as you go into darkness. And then there's some light as you pass another service light built into the wall. And then darkness and light and darkness as the motor overhead whirs and the steel cables creak, the metal cage of the elevator vibrating and humming along as you go down until you get to darkness and darkness, and you're not seeing a light and you can't see each other. And there is suddenly a jolt, and you all feel weightless for a second as the elevator starts to fall a little bit. You heard a pop above you or something, and you're falling through darkness. You are hearing air rush by a little bit, and you can't quite see each other. It's pitch black. It is so dark that you can't see your hand in front of your face as you all try to scramble for some kind of handhold. And then suddenly that sensation stops. Not with a jolt, not with you hitting the floor, but that sensation just comes to a sudden decompression as your feet touch the floor again, and you are softly brought to a standstill in the darkness as a little light in the wall flickers on. Devon, you look to your left and your right. You are alone in the service elevator. Avis, you look around you. There's nobody with you. Neil, solitary in an empty elevator as the light returns.
What about Circuit?
Circuit is still in your pack.
All good. I was worried there was a service elevator with just Circuit standing by himself on the elevator. Going like, meow.
There's a door in front of each of you. In turn, unbeknownst to each of you, the doors open. Avis, you see the door open in front of you. You are in some kind of room. There is a barred window that looks like it overlooks new Ronne. Your new Ronne. From your time, low-rise buildings, you hear howling wind. Past the barred window, you see bright light, like it is the middle of the long day. It seems like you're back in the correct time, but you are in a strange place. You're in a little room. You take a step out of the elevator trying to get your bearings.
And I find myself in Chapel Ronne.
Not quite a chapel, though it is very solemn here. You look to your left, and you see somebody sitting on a bench in this little dark room. A bench that hangs from the wall with chains at an angle connecting to its front. And you see Milo. It is an older Milo. You can tell it's him. There isn't a doubt in your mind, but he looks like a young man. He looks like an adult. And he looks up and meets eyes with you. Devon, you are standing in the elevator as the door slides open with a shutter. Outside, it is dark, but not foggy. It is a darkness with a dark sky overhead. There is some light being cast from somewhere off in the distance that spreads out, illuminating the area a little bit. You are standing at the shore somewhere. It feels like you're in the thawed Antarctic. It feels like you're on your home continent. The shores are rocky and the waves are soft as they lap at the shore. A little distance away, a boat is pushing its way into the rocks, coming in to be grounded, and pulling it up onto the dirt beach is somebody who looks an awful lot like the stranger. But you can see there is differences here. They wear the same clothes. They have the glass hanging at their hip. Their skin looks normal though. Their hair deep brown. And you see them making their way on to this island. Neil, you are standing on a rolling hillscape, and it is dark. Though you don't know it, it is even darker than the place where Devon stands. You hear wind. There is a dark sky overhead, but you see no stars and no moon. There's a little pinprick of light in the distance, orange and throwing shadows over the landscape. It is the only thing you can see with clear features, as the rocky soil and mud and sludge around you is featureless and barren. Do you walk towards it?
Yeah.
You step out the door of the service elevator. A cursory glance over your shoulder shows that the doorway is no longer there. You stand out alone. As you walk towards the fire, a little distance away from it, sitting a bit far back towards the darkness, you make out a person. He is wearing tattered clothes, a button down, and what looks like a cowboy hat. He is sitting on the ground. You see close by is a white horse of some sort. Though you've never seen a horse in person, this one doesn't look mutated or strange. It looks like a classical depiction of a horse. And both of them are a little bit hard to see the definitive features of because they are both a little bit translucent, apparently. You're finding yourself having a hard time focusing on them because the more you try to focus, the more you're trying to actually look through them. And the man sitting back casually has rugged features, stubble, looks average, except for his eyes, or where his eyes would be. Instead, you see his hollow eye sockets are filled with wispy black smoke that streams out into the night, and you hear, as he looks at you,
"Hey there, traveler. Hey, have you seen somebody named Hu Tai Bao? I've been looking a long time for him."
Just can't stop. He just can't stop with his character.
Oh, so dedicated.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. If you want to keep up with the show, follow us on our Dungeons & Dragons TikTok account at Fire and Smoke Podcast. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say before the end of the episode?
We were supposed to have tethers.
I know.
You're supposed to have a tether so you can get back. How are we going to get back?
That makes sense. It's really smart.
That was the only thing you found out, Blake.
But there wasn't a tether.
Oh.
What were we supposed to do? Make one?
I walked into the future void Earth, and then I looked back, and there was no door to get back. How am I going to get back, Blake? You killed Neil.
I guess we could have made a tether.
Oh.
But you know what? We're not in a rush that bad.
We're in a rush now.
We could have just molded some more earth and then made like a spool of rope and then tied it around all of our waists and then attached it to the thing. And it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Blake, you rolled a 99. You get a vision of incredibly valuable information for a pressing issue.
Blake!
Thought it was like a premonition of like danger, like, oh, there's no tether, you better watch out. But not like
you better watch out because there's no tether.
Not like you need to make tethers because you absolutely need them no matter what.
They're probably really important.
No.
It's going to be fine. You guys are going to have a fun conversation with future Milo, with the stranger, and with some weird ghost cowboy guy that you don't recognize, Neil.
Hey, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Cassius Reeds.
Whoa. You don't know who that is.
Nah, he's read about him in the history books.
Yeah, I read about
It's
it.
true.
Books. Everyone knows about Cassius Reed's famous ghost story.
He goes around everywhere asking for this one guy named who.
So is Eric's character also having like a weird future vision conversation with an NPC? Who do you get?
He couldn't make it this episode, guys. I'm so sorry. Eric texted me that he's like writing a biography for the Pillsbury Doughboy.
It's just
The
like
fictional
a character, right? Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought, but he said he's writing a biography for him and he's trying to like set up meetings face to face to have some interviews with him, and his like schedule is really crazy because of that, and he isn't able to do D&D for a little while, but he'll certainly be here next time for the next episode.
I hope he brings back some cinnamon rolls for us.
Oh, that'd be really nice.
Yeah. Can you at least like tell Eric that he really needs to be at the next one?
He said he's going to be at the next one.
Yeah, but he
promised
said that
me.
the last time, and he's not been here yet.
There's
But he
not
said-
many more left.
But he said nothing else crazy is going to happen, and he'll be here next week for sure.
Okay,
This one's not even crazy. He's just deciding to go write a biography.
You don't think it's
happened to him.
crazy that he's meeting the Pillsbury Doughboy face to face?
That is
That's a little
crazy. I
crazy.
didn't know he was real.
Anyways, he's definitely going to be here next week. Don't worry about it, guys.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Sleep away.